All right, here's what you do. Get a cold washcloth, wrap some ice in it, put it on your forehead, lay down, and just bask in the glory for the next 75 to 90 minutes of the weekend edition. As you nurse that Friday night hangover here into Saturday morning, April the 29th, 2023, the Conquistador Dave Height and the Maestro Kevin Crane.
We'll get you through this. It's all good.
You need some rock and roll.
We just hope you didn't have to gnaw your arm off to get home.
Or do some kind of unspeakable, unmentionable thing to a police officer to get out of a ticket.
And there you go.
Yes, officer. I see your belly club.
Wow.
We're friends of the police. Believe me, we are.
Yes, we are. No spit polish involved.
So, as always, segment 1 on the weekend edition is rock and roll. We have got an album review and 3 outstanding new songs for you, and some music news, which will be extremely interesting to discuss. First off, album review of the week is the new one from L.A. Guns. The album is Black Diamonds.
11 songs, a little over 41 minutes.
I like it. I don't love it, but I can dance to it. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Clark. Sorry. Having American Bandstand flashbacks.
Yeah.
No,
I think we might be on the same wavelength with this one. It's listenable. It's not over the top. There's some good stuff on there and some generic.
And 1 or 2 bad.
Yes.
1 or 2 bad. Now, I will say it starts off very strong with You Betray and Wrong About You.
Absolutely.
Very good 1-2 punch. Very punkish.
Yes.
Bringing back to that Sunset Strip.
Yeah, You Betray has that Zeppelin vibe to it.
Yeah, and we reviewed it.
Yeah.
A while back. That was the first single.
Yeah.
And I think I've grown to like it more and more.
Yeah. It is a
And Wrong About You has got that same kind of sleazy vibe to it.
It does.
So, I think the boys were wrong about you.
It's got that Sunset Strip whole vibe going on.
Yeah.
Then Diamonds, the ballad.
Worst song on the album.
Not good. It vies for worst song on the album.
Just too much of the chorus. Oh my God. It seems like that's all it is the chorus.
Yeah. It's
no, we're broke, but we shine like a diamond. God, by about the 15th time they sing that, I was ready to claw my ears off of the sides of my head.
Yeah. Then Babylon.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's got that 70s punk vibe thing going for it. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Really? Shame. Did they have to put it? It had that walking shoes vibe to it.
Yeah.
It just, no. Trash.
We reviewed Shattered Glass. Shattered Glass is good. And then I think really the rest of the album is kind of I think
Gonna Lose, that is another vied for worst song.
Yeah.
Just not good. What was it? What were they trying to do with it? It was 2 different songs.
Yeah.
It's schizophrenic on that one.
Yeah, now Got It Wrong I thought was okay, but it had Tracy Guns has a lot of good guitar riffs on this album. And this is one that's got a great guitar riff, but the rest of the song doesn't live up to that.
No, it just kind of flops.
Right. Low Life was okay. I liked that a little better.
Decent. Crying, garbage.
Nope.
And then Like a Drug is better.
Yeah.
It ended on more of an up note.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to be generous here with Black Diamonds. I respect the legacy of LA Guns. We just saw them last year. They were great in concert.
They were fun in concert.
I'll give it a week weak 2.5 frenzies.
That's exactly where I'm at with it. Very weak 2.5.
Because you've got about at least 3 or 4 strong songs on there, but there's a lot of crap, a lot of stuff that
it's it's cringeworthy.
Yeah. Not abysmal, not like Michael Schenker band.
No,
abysmal,
no.
But
no, they didn't crap the bed with it, but they could have done better.
A moderate effort, maybe leaning to subpar.
Yeah.
But still okay.
There's a couple songs that we enjoy and we'll listen to.
Yes. Maybe we should go back, take the last album, take the best off of both of those and put them together.
And then
you've got a great album.
Something. Yeah.
Yep. All right, now we got 3 songs from 2 of our favorite bands. Let's start off with the Foo Fighters.
Let's go with the Foo. New Foo we have not had in a while. Rescued. It's typical Foo. It's not outstanding. It's not abysmal. It's what you expect from them.
Yeah,
I'm lukewarm with this one.
I am too. Here's my problem with Rescued. Again, we say this a lot when it comes to these type of bands that we love. Something from this band is better than most from other bands, and that's what you basically are going to say about Rescued. Rescued is still going to be better than 90% of what's out there. But I swear, as I listen to the song, and we've
heard this song before.
Bits and pieces of the song sound like bits and pieces of other Foo Fighters
they've
hits.
done. Yeah,
it almost sounds like the perfect amalgam of all their former hits put together in one new song.
Yeah,
does that make it a great song? No. Does it make it a good song? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 2.5.
I was going to give it 3. I'll go 3.
I'll go a strong 2.5.
Yeah, and I'll go week 3. I'm close to where you are on this.
It's just it doesn't do enough to get a 3 from me.
Yeah, this is. I have to say, out of all the Foo Fighters albums, and I've listened to all of them, been a huge fan as you have. This is probably the weakest lead-off single I have ever heard.
Yes,
from a new Foo Fighters
absolutely
project.
Agree.
And it's still better than most.
Still better than most. Like I said, the best thing that could have happened from Kurt Cobain going away was we got the Foo.
Yes. Yeah, and they're going through a transition right now. We don't know how they're going to end up handling the drumming on tour. With the passing of Taylor Hawkins, so we'll see. The rumors are out there. We were responsible. We did not buy into those rumors because they have never been.
Nothing is confirmed.
Nothing has been confirmed. And especially now with the announcement that Pearl Jam is going out on tour, that might douse the flames of that particular rumor.
That might be a last-ditch effort to keep it together.
Now, of course, we went crazy.
We went nutsy, cuckoo, gaga, insane over Rise from Extreme.
Yeah, the first single from their upcoming album, 6. Of course, the first new work that they've put out in a decade. Of course, we've talked about how we are going to see them on tour with Living Colour. Unbelievable double bill. Cannot wait for that. But Extreme decides when they announce that tour not to just give us 1 new song, but 2.
Banshee and #Rebel.
Now, 2 videos are out for them as well. So I kind of had a little mini MTV weekend. And I was watching videos on YouTube all weekend. Some of the songs that we've talked about and reviewed here, not like the old days where we would sit in front of the TV with MTV
hours upon hours upon hours.
Well, here you can pick and choose the videos. Like I watched the new video for Rival Sons, Bird in the Hand. which was awesome. You know, and Mammoth, of course, with the
God,
the whole Wolfgang as
Yeah.
every member of the band.
And then he brings in his touring band,
Yeah.
and that was a fun one.
So now, of course, the 2 videos for Banshee and #Rebel. I mean, they're just performance videos in different studio settings. One's in more of a traditional studio, where the other is in like a big warehouse type room. One's in color, one's in black and white. Other than that, they're just performance videos. But the vibe I got from #Rebel was awesome. I think I like it more than you,
Potentially.
because the first time I listened to it, I thought it's good. Second time, it was like, okay, now I'm starting to get it more.
I may have to listen to it another time or two. The first couple goes. The first one, the second, okay, I can get it. Third, all right, maybe a little bit more. It'll grow more on me.
I think I've got roots. I think the roots are in me. I think it's growing on me.
Yeah,
because that hook, that chorus was in my head the last part of the weekend.
Yeah. See, that my initial thought, it's the weakest of the 3 so far.
No, not to me. Not to me. So little bit of disagreement here, kids.
Which we like.
Yes. I will give #Rebel 3.5 frenzies.
Wow, really?
Oh, I'm telling you, it got in my head and I could not let it go.
Wow.
Hey, I got something to say. You're talking to me while you're walking away.
Week 3.
I just loved it.
Week 3.
No, 3.5. Easy.
No.
3.5 for me.
All right. Then we've got Banshee. This one had that Pink Cadillac groove beat going to it, but a little quicker pace on the musical side.
Now, I would say, again, we're talking about Extreme, so I would say this was my weaker of the 3, but still, very good song. I would give Banshee 3. Solid 3 frenzies.
Yeah, it's a 3.
But I think #Rebel will grow on you. I do think it will grow on you.
We'll see if it does.
Because I was listening to a little bit of an aside here, now that I can listen to some more CDs in my car on my commute to work. I a couple times a week, I'll pull out CDs. I'm not listening to crap that is radio around here at all in the morning. Bob and Tom and all that garbage and the canned laughter.
Yeah, Bob and Tom are trash.
So
the local guys, that's why I still listen to 670 The Score, the mornings with Mully and Haw.
Throw a bunch of CDs in the car. It
gives me my morning sports update for my brief little commute.
If it's not Boomer and Geo, I don't want to listen to it. So I throw my CDs in the car. So today's CD was Extreme, 3 sides to every story. So listening to that, you get a little bit more of the nuanced sound of Extreme. And that's where I think #Rebel comes in. #Rebel has that sound,
so if
that old
you were in that
sound.
frame of mind going in with it.
No, #Rebel put me in that frame of mind where it made me want to go back and listen to the old stuff and do that connection, with the old stuff. Because it's amazing to me how Extreme has still got this vast popularity. Now, you and I, we've loved them from the beginning.
From the get-go.
Right. Kid Ego, all the stuff off the debut album.
I mean,
but all these casual fans out here now who are, to me, are going crazy about, Extreme's back. Extreme.
Yeah.
You didn't miss them. All you care about is More Than Words and Wholehearted. That's all you care about.
Wanna play? Do you?
Yeah. Everybody knows
Bill and
porno
Ted's
graffiti.
Excellent Adventure, running through the mall. Boom.
See, I'm the guy that's got Waiting on the Punchline, which I think is unbelievable. Saudades to Rock, the last album. Nobody listened to those. But now all of a sudden, because now you're acting like they're a nostalgia act. No, they're not nostalgia
they
act.
are not nostalgia. Damn it!
Cannot wait to see them in concert. Cannot wait. I will be very interested to hear what the set list is. Because they are going to have to pull
It has been 20 years since I've seen them.
Yeah.
Over.
And again, because of the fact that this is a band that is more about the diehard fans.
Yeah.
Dave and I will know the songs, but most people play Wholehearted. Oh, come on. Do the acoustic sets. More than words. Come on. Or the rest of us want to hear porno graffiti and want to hear Waiting on the Punchline.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, music news. Music news. Very good music news.
Very, very good.
Over the last week, Mr. Sammy Hagar and now today, Mr. Michael Anthony have come out and confirmed that the Van Halen archives are open for business.
Woohoo!
We are
Is that good or bad?
We're going to start getting some unreleased material from Van Halen as they reissue a lot of these classic albums, starting with, of course, the Van Hagar era.
Color me intrigued.
They still are deferring to Alex and Wolfie and saying they're the ones that ultimately have control. But when Michael Anthony, in this story I read today, says, yes, we're even hopeful that the Dave stuff is coming out.
That would be very good as well.
Yes.
You know, I trust Wolfie. I think he will work with Uncle Alex to do homage to the legacy of the band.
Well, of course, his big thing is he has said, if my dad were alive, he would say, why are you fucking around with the archives when you should be doing your own music? Do your own music. So that's why he does what he does with Mammoth. And why he puts his energy into that is because he feels like his dad would have told him
to do your own thing.
Don't live in my past, live in your future.
Yeah, but he does that, but he wants to honor everything that his dad has done.
Right. Well, now Alex is the one that should be doing that.
Alex should be front and center, pushing everything.
Right. So hopefully, kids, all that old, I know there is a lot of great, especially with the Dave stuff, there is a lot of great old Dave stuff out there. So if they get it out there,
what Sammy
clean it up.
Yeah. Despite what Sammy has come out in the latest interview,
there's always that they're
always going to go back
take
and
that
forth
to their graves.
These are two egomaniacs.
The fans are going to take it to their graves.
These are two egomaniacs who have never been able to get along. They will never get along.
Yeah, I know the interview you're talking about where he said, I multiplied Dave's income by 6 when we went on tour together.
Yeah, Dave never cared about his voice. He is the showman. I will give him that. He is the showman. Everybody knows it. Shut up, Sammy. Stay in your lane. Focus on your own stuff.
I'm not going to go off on a rant about that stuff. Everybody knows who I like more. Those first 6 albums, I want to be buried. I want to be buried with them. I want to be this. The CDs need to go. Well, don't put them up my ass, but put them somewhere in
Close
the
to the
coffin.
nether regions.
Yeah, put them somewhere in the coffin. You know, so that when the grave robbers come to take out my
Grave
gold
Robbers
crowns,
Union.
yeah. Great album, by the way. Grave
I
Dancers
know.
Union. Grave Dancers Union.
Or Grave Dancers, yes.
All
Well,
right.
I had to modify it
I
for
know.
obvious reasons.
I know. John Mellencamp, brand new album. He is one of our first concerts of 2023, coming up here in June, I believe.
I think so.
But did not expect a brand new album because he just put out Strictly a One-Eyed Jack at the beginning of 2022. Now we are getting a brand new John Mellencamp album, Orpheus Descending, coming out here in the next month or two.
June 24th
is our concert.
is
right?
our concert. I believe that is the no.
It
is,
was.
It was the final show.
He tacked on
but he
another
added
couple of shows.
Oh, that dirty, rotten scoundrel.
I know. We thought we were going to see the last show on the tour. They tacked on 2 shows at another venue.
That dirty, rotten scoundrel.
Yep. But Orpheus Descending coming out here soon. It'll be out before we see Mr. Mellencamp, so we will have to familiarize ourselves with the new material. Our buddy on the Sports Frenzy panel, the Big Blue W, just saw him a week or 2 ago, said it was outstanding.
Excellent. Good to know.
Said instead of an opening act, he has like a half-hour kind of a documentary video clip show put together by, I believe, Turner Classic Movies, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't
quote me.
Kind of a bio type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole retrospective of his career and his life and all that. So
that could be kind of cool.
That's going to be the first half hour instead of an opening act before he comes out.
I kind of like that.
So, Aerosmith, the farewell tour could be coming soon.
Really?
They have been dropping hints. There have been, I believe, graphics I read today.
So do they have to do this for Steven to pay off the lawsuit?
And for his rehab, his rehab bills. But they've been posting cryptic images. Peace out is what they've been saying.
I've seen them once. I'm good.
Joe Perry has been alluding to the fact that they do have another tour planned, but he did not come out and say it was the final tour. But
yeah, we'll wait and see.
I would see him again if the situation is right.
Yeah, we'll see. Depends on the opening act.
Well, when we saw him the last time, it was Living Color.
We went to see Living Color.
Yes.
Come on,
and
let's
Aerosmith
face it.
Ended up, if they would just not play the crappy Armageddon ballad. Jesus God.
Stay away from the Alicia Silverstone crap.
Yes, that stuff too. Stay away from Armageddon and Alicia Silverstone. Great show. But the minute they start playing Angel or I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, that's bathroom break time.
Yes, it is. Bathroom break and value beers.
So Dave will not be on the weekend edition next weekend, but in 2 weeks, he will have a review for you.
Shinedown with Ashes to New and Theory of a Dead Man. Looking forward to that show. As this hits Saturday morning, it will be 2 days hence from when I'm there.
So next week, I will be flying solo. I will have a review of the brand new album from the Hold Steady, The Price of Progress.
Yep, I will be missing taping because I am adding some culture into my life. Going to see the greatest cellist of our day, Yo-Yo Ma.
Or as I like to think of him, the name that Kramer
Yo-Yo-Ma!
said when he had a head injury. Yo-Yo-Ma! You can call it culture. I call it a fond recollection from my favorite comedy show of all time.
And there you go. No, it's Mrs. C's. Mrs. C loves the cello.
You're
And
being
it's
a
an
good
opportunity.
husband. You're being a good husband.
Yes,
You really
yes,
are.
I am.
You really are.
And arguably the greatest cellist that's ever
You're being a
been
good husband.
presented.
You're
so
being a good husband.
I am. And I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Just because you're the greatest at something doesn't mean you need to really show it off in front of thousands of people.
Yes, yes, you do. It's what we're trying to do.
The greatest masturbator of all time? Really?
Is that what you're trying for?
No, I gave that up a long time ago.
We're trying to get the greatest podcast ever out there. Come on.
I'm just saying, you got to look at the perspective. The greatest doesn't mean the most popular, something that everybody wants to see. I'm just telling you.
He had a cameo in The Glass
Let
Onion.
me ask you this. Do you watch that stupid ass hot dog eating contest every year? Because Joey Chestnut is the greatest hot dog eating human being on the face of the planet?
No, I catch the highlights on the evening news.
You lie! You lie! You don't watch that for the same reasons I do. Because it's stupid! It is not entertainment. It is not something that people should be enjoying and watching. Man,
hot dog eating, that's
a
garbage.
bun
That's
in
trash.
water and shoving it down his gullet to the point where he's going to vomit.
Is not entertaining.
And that's how I feel about Yo-Yo Ma.
And the uncultured swine speaks.
Well, the uncultured swine wants to segue into segment 2.
All right.
So,
I think it's a fine time to do that.
After a quick promo break, Dave and I will be right back. I have a movie review. Dave has got a book review for you.
I do.
So
good stuff, kids.
Hang out, go listen to some cello or shove 15 hot dogs down your throat, and we'll be right back. Hello, I'm James Cameron, prestigious film director. And since it takes me over a decade to make a movie, I've got plenty of time between takes to listen to my favorite podcast, Sports Frenzy 2.0, on Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Casts, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, Stitcher, Amazon, and Audible. Hey, wait, I'm having an epiphany. I have a new idea. Summer of 2035. Blue robots from the future on a doomed ocean liner. Oh, brilliant. Where's Arnold? Get me Schwarzenegger. What about DiCaprio? Oh, what about Edward Furlong? We know he's not doing anything.
Welcome to segment 2 of Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition. I'm the Conquistador Dave Height.
Along with Pearl Jam fan, the maestro Kevin Crane.
Yeah, wear that proud. I won't.
That's an off-mic discussion we were having during the break.
Never. Here we are recording April 26, 2023, dropping Saturday morning, April 29th on Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Amazon, Audible, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, and Stitcher! We need to get that a little higher pitch for the hangover guys out there.
Well, see, I was thinking we're being a little unfair because for some reason we focus on Stitcher and we kind of just run through everybody else. It'd be very hard to give everybody their own little different.
Do we really want to rotate through it? No. It flows at this point.
It does flow. Don't forget to check out the Facebook page where you can find a link to the weekend edition.
Also, our sports podcast, the original Sports Frenzy 2.0,
In business for over 30 years.
plus all of our picks for said show for baseball and NASCAR right now.
Football in the fall.
Yep.
All right. We had a little bit of a heated discussion, as I mentioned off mic, about Pearl Jam. That's fine. Kind of wish we'd recorded it for the Facebook audience.
It would have been
but
good.
Didn't have enough time. So now maybe we'll have one here. Because my movie review of the week is Quasi. Quasi, of course, brand new on Hulu, from the Broken Lizard troupe that we love so much.
Yep. I will not give Hulu my money yet.
Responsible, of course, for Beer Fest, Slam and Salmon,
Super Troopers.
Super Troopers 1 and 2. And of
what
course,
was
Tacoma
FD.
So I was really looking forward to this. I got a very, very good deal on Hulu, so I'm not paying a ton for it. Then they have very little to offer, honestly. I barely watch Hulu, but $2 a month.
Yeah, there you go. Oh no, the look on your face.
This is why I figured we would have a discussion on this.
Wow.
Yeah, this is not their best moment.
Ouch.
And you and I love Tacoma FD.
Tacoma FD is
hysterical.
phenomenal as a show.
And they're pulling that off on cable. Tacoma FD is 10 times better than this.
Ouch.
Quasi, and now I'm not saying Quasi's abysmal. I'm not saying it's awful.
It doesn't live up to their standards.
Right. This is down at the bottom. This is down there with Club Dread. I didn't like Club Dread all that much.
Club Dread wasn't good.
Yeah, this is down there with Club Dread.
Ouch.
Now, the cool thing about it is that the entire Tacoma FD cast makes appearances. So,
all right, you got that going for
the
it.
guys who aren't in the Broken Lizard troupe are in it prominently. You have to have watched Tacoma FD to know what I'm saying here, but Dave knows.
I know.
Dave knows. I mean, there's just, for some reason, they're obsessed thinking that throughout the entire movie, there's some kind of funny joke about oysters.
Really?
Eating oysters, saying the word oysters seems to, be something they think is funny. And I just don't get it. It falls very, very flat and stupid.
Oysters are supposed to make you virile.
They don't even bring that up. And it doesn't really, that part of it doesn't.
So what's...
Yeah.
No, if it's in France with Quasimodo, snails make more sense.
No, it's oysters. It's all about oysters. And I'm not kidding you, kids. Constant references to oysters, jokes about oysters. It's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I expected more from Broken Lizard than this.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, the writing is really subpar. It's not that funny. But I will say this, the actors are very charismatic. We know them. We love them. They play dual roles. All of them play dual roles. So that's kind of fun. You got the Pope involved. So, if you're a fan of Broken Lizard like we are, it's probably a little bit more entertaining than it would be for somebody else, because we know the in-jokes. We see certain people in the cast and we go, I know him from this movie or this show. And then I had to look up the Queen, Adrienne Palicki, because it was driving me crazy. I knew that I knew her from somewhere. And it turns out she was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is where I knew her from. And then you said you know her from G.I. Joe, the movies. And And she's not hard to look at, so that was a nice
no,
thing.
she's not.
But in the end, this is just, it's subpar Broken Lizard. I laughed a couple times.
But not like you have through most of their stuff.
No, again, Beer Fest, Slam and Salmon are just classic comedies to me. And this is just not even close to being in the same class, the same level. So
that's disappointing.
The best I can give it, I give it a very weak 2 Frenzies.
Ouch.
Yeah. And that's being probably generous.
And there you go.
The best part of the movie is the blooper reel over the closing credits.
Oh no.
Yeah. I think I laughed hardest at that.
Wow. That's disappointing.
Well, and the sad thing is some of the stuff that they say, I mean, some of it is just bloopers.
Right.
Like there's a scene with, this isn't spoiling anything. There's a scene with a horse where Adrian Palicki, the queen, is trying to talk to Quasimodo. And so, again, I'm not spoiling any of the plot for you, but, you know, at one point the horse walks up to her, she's trying to do her lines, starts licking her neck.
Lucky horse.
And then they then they reshoot it and they show it again. And I'm like, okay, what? She's doing her lines again, and in the background the horse is taking a dump. And I'm like, this is funnier than the damn movie.
Why didn't they leave that scene in?
But they're the funniest blooper, quote unquote, they could have put in the movie and it would have been hysterical. And they decided, no, we're going to go down a different direction. It seemed like it's R-rated, but it seems like an unbelievably tame R-rated movie. It doesn't have the usual, you know, foul stuff that we would expect from them.
Where they had a ping pong paddle shoved up and he was shitting pancakes.
There is one scene towards the end where they go back to their old school gross out type stuff, which is funny. But
that's what you expect from Broken Lizard.
That's pretty much the one scene.
That's so disappointing.
Let's just say it's a torture scene involving a scrotum.
Oh God.
But yeah, it's just in language and everything, it's just very tame. And again, it's R-rated, but it's one of the tamest R-rated movies I've ever seen.
And that's the day and age we live in now.
Yeah. So again, very weak 2 Frenzies, disappointing. But let's move on to an author that we both like that is not disappointing.
No, John Sandford. He's been around for decades now. Most notable for the Lucas Davenport Prey series, also the Virgil Flowers series. He's done the kids series with a handful of books. Now he's gone on to Lucas's adopted daughter, Letty Davenport, who is an agent with Homeland Security while working for a senator. So she kind of is developing that lone wolf, kind of taken after Lucas here in a little bit. So this latest Dark Angel, the second of the Letty Davenport novels, finds her going undercover with another Homeland Security person, going after a hacker group. And they don't have the full story. They're supposedly stopping them from going after the gas pipeline in the north, like Minnesota area, which is where Letty's from, and they hook her in with that to save lives to keep the oil from being shut down in the dead of winter. No, this revolves around the Russians getting ready to invade Ukraine, and so this hacker group had gone against and taken out the Russian train system and caused havoc and held them up for ransomware. So the US government, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, wants the hacker group to disrupt the Russian trains again during the invasion of the Ukraine. And of course, the Russians are pissed that the trains were stopped, and so they're going after the hacker group. Mass chaos ensues. So it's not a bad little tale. Letty's starting to develop a little bit more as the character. Her world is starting to come together. She's starting to get that core group that she can pull in and rely on, as we've seen develop through the years for Lucas, which included Virgil. So the character development is there. It's coming along. It's a 3. Not a bad little tale. It's a quick pace. Of course, it throws the government under the bus of being deceptive, and you never know what the hell's really going on.
No.
I know. As I've always said to the boys, rule 1, never trust the government. Ever, ever, ever.
Well, since you're not going to be on next week's episode, then I think we can fairly promise that in 2 weeks, our book review will be Chrysalis.
Yep, Lincoln Child's latest actually it came out last summer, the Jeremy Logan.
Right.
His character, the enigmologist. His latest adventure. So we'll have that going for you.
We'll both have a review of that for you. I'm just kind of taken aback by your review of Letty. I mean, I've told you I kind of backed off on the Prey novels until they brought Virgil Flowers back in the last couple. So I know who Letty is.
Yeah.
But I obviously have not followed her development as a character.
Yeah.
No, but the whole international component blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because even Lucas never really got into international stuff like that.
No, she didn't. Letty had been at Stanford, graduated. She got an internship with a senator through Lucas's connections. And she was going to quit, and go off to do something else because she really wants law enforcement like Lucas. I mean, come on. Even though she's adopted, she has that same killer mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And she has killed before in self-defense and everything.
Right.
And so the first one kind of got her hooked in that with her adventure and wound up killing people. And this one, she's invited her core is evolving around a group of women who are in law enforcement or FBI, CIA, whatever, who have all killed somebody in the line of duty, and they call themselves the Peacemakers. And so she was invited to join them for an event and got accepted in, and that's her core that she's starting to pull from because everybody has a different skill set that they bring. So it's kind of a neat little perspective.
Yep. At some point, I will read the first one and get into it. I do have the Investigator, right?
The Investigator's the first one. And, when Lucas met his current wife, that's when they met Letty.
Mm-hmm.
And has since adopted her, raised her. And
my only concern is he going to, John Sandford, going to keep doing the combined
Flowers Davenport,
and his second book is every year is going to be Letty, whereas before it was he did a separate Davenport and Flowers.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he might be able to pull the trio.
But is he going to have to go the way of James Patterson
And
and find another
whore
writer?
himself out.
Yeah, find a writer to take over one of those.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
know. Has anybody pulled off the trifecta?
3 in a year.
Yeah. Truly on their own. Truly writing 3 books a year. I don't know.
Harlan Coben, Stuart Woods, Danielle Steele.
What did Stuart Woods write outside of Stone Barrington?
I don't know, but there were like a couple a year.
I still have my doubts.
So
I think
we'll have to wait and
2
see.
years, the most I think you can expect out of a writer.
Yeah.
But all right, let's go back to movies and general pop culture news for a minute.
And by the way, it took me a day and a half to get through Dark Angel.
Here we go, the humble brag.
Just to dig it in.
Yeah, he's getting back at me for the Pearl Jam stuff. All right, what is it? CinemaCon. There's so many cons out there.
God.
I think CinemaCon is going on right now.
They're all a con to get your money and to make you dress up like an idiot.
I'm telling you, I know we have bashed him in the past for good reason, but there are a lot of people who are saying that The Flash is going to be much different than all the crap that DC has put out recently. They are saying this is the great swan song for the pre-James Gunn era.
We'll see.
As I see more footage, of course, at CinemaCon. Then, of course, now I have not watched it yet, unfortunately. We have an Equalizer 3 trailer.
I'm so looking forward to this one.
This is it, though. This is it. This is the final movie. They have said now this is the final Denzel Washington as the Equalizer movie, which means that Queen Latifah, her fat, stupid ass, can keep doing the TV show all she wants. You people watching that show should be ashamed of yourselves. Ashamed of yourselves. I mean, it's just pathetic.
Come on, seriously.
Who else is done? Well, we've got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny coming soon. Harrison Ford says unequivocally, this is it. We're done with Indiana Jones. This is it. We're done. I will not be involved in these movies or anything, TV shows, anything anymore. Well,
he won't be.
Well, no shit. He's almost, 85?
Yeah, there's no...
He's almost dead.
Gee, you think? That doesn't mean you're not going to have any more Indiana Jones in some incarnation.
We've already had young Indiana Jones. What's to stop them from trying to do something like that again?
Exactly.
Now, I found this, going back to DC for a second, very stimulating. And I mean
that's
that
what
in a
she
good
said.
Way. I mean that in a good way. Now, I was never a fan in terms of the whole dialect. I just didn't like the Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman with, she didn't talk normal. She had the Israeli dialect or whatever she had that she brought to the Wonder Woman role. Now, there are rumors floating around out there about who the next Wonder Woman could be. And if this is true, Mr. James Gunn is a genius. Ana de Armas is trying to deny rumors that she is in line to become the next Wonder Woman.
That would be wonderful.
Yes.
She's pretty.
She can wrap that lasso of truth around me anytime. And she's not going to like what I say, though. There's going to be some nasty ideas coming out of the maestro. But honestly,
that
from a geek perspective, she would be
she
great.
would be fantastic.
That would be a great casting move to put her in as Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she is a great actress in her own right, and that's a win-win.
She has wonderful assets. Yes, wonderful assets.
Next.
Now we're gonna, for the rest of this one, we're gonna go little negative, but our buddy Alec Baldwin, all the charges have been dropped. He is free and clear, so now they can go ahead and finish that movie Rust, which I think is just in such poor taste.
It is. Seriously, you're going to finish this. They moved from the Southwest. Was it now they're finishing it up in Montana? Or somewhere up in the northern plains? Poor taste to try and finish this movie. Just bad.
Yeah, this isn't like The Crow. This isn't, what, Fast and Furious or whatever, 7, when Paul Walker had died. I mean, this was, for a while, a manslaughter situation.
Yeah. This is just poor taste.
But I would expect nothing less from Alec Baldwin. Because, again, he is, by all accounts, another reprehensible human being.
Always has been.
Now, I can separate the stuff, though. I think he's a great actor. Just like Kevin Spacey. Great actor.
Great actor, but a reprehensible human being.
Then finally, wrapping up our movie segment, I do want to send out thoughts and prayers to Richard Lewis.
Yeah.
I always thought he's a pretty funny dude. And unfortunately now he has been diagnosed with Parkinson's and he will no longer be able to do stand-up anymore.
No. And that's sad. He's one of those guys that had that sly wit that you had to grow to appreciate.
Yes. Yeah, he was very underrated.
Yep. King John in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Now, wasn't he also a recurring character in Mad About You?
Yeah, he kind of had one of those roles.
He was, yeah. But, no, I always kind of liked his sense of humor.
Yeah.
Little snarky, So, very sad news. But we're not done yet. We have one segment left.
TV and streaming, kids, with
Perry Mason
and
the Titans. And maybe some Beavis and Butthead.
Not from me, but from
you. You let me down, you son of a bitch.
I finished Chrysalis.
Oh.
And I
Here we go with the book
Dark
again.
Angel.
Here we go with the book.
There you go.
The book man who wants to do 47 book reviews a week, but he can't parse out an hour to watch the new Beavis and Butthead.
I haven't seen season 1, so it wasn't going to do
me
any
and you're
good.
going to really miss out on a lot.
I will. Yeah, it builds.
Despite this argument, Dave and I will return for segment 3 here on the weekend edition, kids.
Stay tuned.
Maybe we'll talk more about Pearl Jam.
That suck.
We'll be right back. Hey kids, ready for a blast of dairy goodness? Pick up Sports Frenzy 2.0 milk at your local grocery store. Remember, when you drink Sports Frenzy 2.0 milk, you're not only enjoying a healthy treat, you're helping to locate missing sports heroes of the past and present. Our cartons and jugs feature pictures of Peng Shui, Ryan Leaf, and Sammy Sosa as we do our part to find the lost icons of the last 30 years. And don't forget our special weekend edition chocolate milk containers, available on Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Casts, and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, because they feature celebrities like Lindsay Lohan, Helen Hunt, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Pick up a gallon today. All right, by now, you should be having some bacon and eggs, some greasy food. You should be on the back end of that hangover from Friday night.
The head should not be pounding at this point.
So we'll take it easy on you here.
And maybe if you got lucky, you made breakfast for that lucky person.
And if that's the case, why the hell are you listening to us?
You should go in round 2, 3, and 4.
It's time for sloppy seconds. Come on. That grease can do a lot of good, depending on how you use it.
Dirty thirds.
He's a conquistador, Dave Height.
He's a maestro, Kevin Crane.
All right, third segment, TV and streaming. Now, we have our full review of season 2 of Perry Mason. Now, we have been debating this season back and forth throughout as we've gone week by week. You guys know how I feel about certain aspects of the show. And I still think as season 2 has officially ended, 8 episodes, just like the first, that this was largely unnecessary. This really, for the most part...
There were about 3 episodes that really were not needed.
Yeah, and we're talking about the whole Della Street as lesbian garbage. And I was almost hoping, and I think Dave brought this up a couple of weeks back, I was almost hoping that it would turn into more of a plot point that it ended up being.
Yeah. It wound up that the DA was being blackmailed. I was expecting Della to be blackmailed.
So again, this is Hollywood
checking boxes and pushing their agendas.
And again, I don't know how, as a creative person, a writer, director, you can subject yourself to this, being told, if you don't put this type of character in your show, if you don't put this type of character in your movie or your book or whatever it might be, then you're not getting published or made. And I just find that reprehensible beyond all belief. Now, that being said, taking that out of the equation, season 2 of Perry Mason was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
It was. The last 2 episodes, you had some pretty intense stuff going on.
Agreed. Yeah. Yep. I liked the way they wrapped it up. Not going to spoil the fate of the characters, especially Perry.
Yep. It ended kind of the way it probably should have in a best case scenario for what was transpiring.
Yeah, from what was going on in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
And again, I let the episode run through the credits, and it went to some bonus content where they were interviewing the actors. Matthew Rice, just to hear him talk
with the accent,
it just blows your mind.
It does. I listened to one earlier. I didn't watch this one,
this particular one, right?
The previous one. It just hearing him with his accent just is mind blowing.
Yeah. So, and I love him. I think he's a phenomenal actor. From The Americans to this, even has a cameo part in Cocaine Bear, which I didn't mention last week.
Well,
his wife's in it.
His wife's in it, so there you go.
But yeah, if you take away, again, this is what drives me crazy about Hollywood. If you take away the agendas and the checking of the boxes,
you get a much better streamlined story on this one.
Yes. And those of you who watched the original Perry Mason, again, we talked about this, we debated this. We know this is not Perry Mason. This is another show using the characters' names.
Yeah.
But
This is more hardcore, more gritty.
But in the same sense, the original show, it was almost Paul Drake was always flirting with Della Street.
Yeah.
But now here Paul Drake's married. I just think they would have been better suited to tell the special interest groups to go fuck off. We're going to write this the way it should be written.
Yeah.
There's a really nice scene towards the very end with Perry and Della where they almost seem like there's a connection there that goes above and beyond friend and coworker that they could have developed again if they didn't have to force and pigeonhole the agenda in. Because last time I'll say it again, the storyline with her as a lesbian is for the most part unnecessary. Like you said, the only reason that it's in there
is to have it in there.
Well, because it connects her to the
DA.
Right. But we don't need to know she's got a girlfriend, and we don't need to have the constant scenes over and over and over again with them. That is nothing.
That had nothing to do with the storyline.
Right. Absolutely nothing. And again, that's what I thought is this has got to be leading somewhere, and it never does.
It never did.
So that's why I cannot give it any. I'll give it a 3 frenzies, and that's it. I can't go any higher than that.
Agreed.
All right, we of course are also watching Titans, the second half of the last season, season 4, episode 9. This one is all about Beast Boy, all about Gar.
Yep, Gar and the Red.
Now, I will say this. This is a very odd episode to me. The first half of it bored me to tears. And then the second part takes off, and then they bring the multiverse in, and then I'm like, holy crap.
This is going great, and then boom. Do we have a crossover coming in with our favorite degenerates of the Doom Patrol?
We got little tastes of the TV version of The Flash.
Yep.
Grant Morrison shows up, who was, of course, the legendary comic book writer who was responsible for the most part for the Vertigo universe, where we got Doom Patrol and Preacher and who they mentioned, Animal Man, which I got all geeked up about. When they mentioned Animal Man, I was like, where's Animal Man?
Where?
He is one of the most underrated, coolest, quirky characters of all time.
Yeah, this last episode just was everywhere.
Yeah. It was interesting. Again, like I said, but it was first half was kind of dull. Second half was they ramped the energy way up. Again, with the multiverse, Stargirl popping in there, and
God. I'm like, really? Yeah, okay, whatever.
So it's obvious now they're trying to establish this link to the TV universe that's almost pretty much dead.
Done. Yeah. Well, why the hell not? Gunn killed everything off. Well, Warner Brothers killed everything off before Gunn came in. So you might as well wrap up the TV Flash, the TV Stargirl in with Titans and Doom Patrol.
Yep, I think that's what they're doing.
So just give them all one final send-off.
If they're all ending.
Stupid ass Warner Brothers. Flash more than past its time, though, with having to play the PC game.
Yeah, it's been, I think, 2 seasons since I've watched a Flash episode.
Yeah, it's been longer than that for me.
All right, moving on to news. I don't know how Dave's going to take this, so we'll see.
Not well, gathering by your tone.
Well, you and I feel kind of the same way about there are certain properties, certain movies, certain TV shows you stay away from. You don't mess with them. You don't touch them. Now, this is one where they have done it, even though initially we said, don't do it, don't do it. And they did it, and it turned out okay. So they're going to do it again. Amazon has a Magnificent Seven series in the works.
Why? Just let
because they bought MGM. They've got all those properties now.
No! It's not a series. It is a movie. No, it does not work dragging it out.
It's already been tried. CBS tried it.
CBS tried it and it failed. No.
Ron Perlman and Michael Biehn in it.
No, just let it go.
They have to squeeze every last dollar out of any franchise.
No.
They got away with it with the movie. With the Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt. Was entertaining.
It was. They did not try and do a straight up remake.
They changed
and tweaked it enough to do homage to the original and not destroy what they currently had. No, it does not lend itself to a series.
I agree.
No. Shitty ass decision. Shoot whoever came up with that idea.
Dun 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 dun.
I would rather see Robert Vaughn throw a knife through their skull.
There you go. Reference to the original. All right, now, this is a show that I like a lot. I know you're not necessarily into the whole sci-fi thing. No, this is not hardcore. This is more like Twilight Zone stuff. But Netflix finally has announced season 6 of Black Mirror is coming in June.
I saw that. It took them long enough, didn't it?
Yeah, 4 years, I think.
Yeah. It's like,
I like Black Mirror a lot.
I forgot about it at this point.
That's the thing.
Been so damn long.
It takes them forever to get out 6 episodes. Usually it's 6 to 8 episodes at most. But Black Mirror is genius. Now, every once in a while they'll throw a clunker out there, but I have seen 2 or 3 episodes of this that are just phenomenal. Now, I'll admit, I don't think I skipped around a lot. So I've watched like 3 episodes in one season, 2 episodes in another. Then I watched the entire season here, But I'm kind of psyched for a new season of Black Mirror. So maybe that'll spur me to go catch up on the episodes I haven't seen. So that they don't have a specific date yet, but they have said it is coming out in June.
Long about the time we're getting Extraction, too.
Good reason to keep Netflix.
There you go.
And I'll tell you what. I'll give Netflix credit. They just sent me an email. Said, thanks for coming back and subscribing with us. We know you took the new $7 ad tier, which is what I've got. They said, we want to let you know we're going to bump up your picture quality. So
there you go.
No extra cost. 1080. Don't worry about, the pixelation issues. And because it used to be if you bought the lower version of Netflix, and that was even before they had ads.
Got the HD.
Yeah. And Hulu, I'll tell you this, watching Quasi, Hulu's picture quality sucks balls. Sucks donkey balls. It goes back and forth between HD and SD and HD and SD every 15. It's like a wave back and forth.
That's not good.
And it's not because of my streaming, my Fire Stick, because every other streaming service works fine. But Hulu is the only one that does that.
Yeek.
But $2 a month. What are you gonna?
What do you expect?
We don't normally talk that much about cable news, but
Yeah.
this was a big shakeup week for cable news. So
Fox and CNN both have some major changes.
arguably, both lost their most recognizable faces, and both, by all accounts, were fired.
Yep. Don Lemon from CNN probably should have been let go years and years ago for his stupidity and comments and the way
Arrogance,
he treated
just
everybody.
arrogance.
Yeah.
You know?
Just a reprehensible person.
Yeah.
To his coworkers.
Just because you're gay doesn't mean you get to like rip into women.
Yeah.
You know? And that
then,
seemed to be a big problem he had.
Yeah. Lots of issues over the years that he's been there. And I think it finally all just came to a head.
Yeah, and I think the same thing with Tucker Carlson at Fox. Now, it's a little more shocking.
Yeah.
But I think from what I've heard, he pushed the boundaries a little bit more than Fox was comfortable with.
Yeah, with the out and out lies,
Conspiracy
theories that he was running out there, and he never a fan of his. He's always been one of those smarmy asshats that you just want to punch in the face repeatedly for being a douchebag.
So I don't know who's going to replace him. God help. We think, we hope, we pray that it's going to be somebody better.
There's
somebody
rumors out there that they're going to flip-flop stations.
Oh, Don Lemon on Fox? Come on.
He'd be their token liberal.
Oh, Jesus, God. God help us all. Oh, my God.
I wouldn't put it past them, but no, both of them just need to go away. They've run their race. They're done.
Just go do the whole podcasting. Like Glenn Beck did that. Just fade
Bill
off.
O'Reilly's
into that
doing the
good night.
podcasting. Chris Cuomo's doing his podcasting.
Yeah,
just go away. Nobody cares about you guys.
Yeah.
Although I would like to say I would love to see CNN and Fox both go away.
All of them. I'd like to see all of them.
MSNBC, any of these 24-hour news outlets, go the hell away. Nobody gives a shit about your stupid ass opinions.
You do more harm than good.
Nobody wants to hear you ramble on and cause problems and continue to divide the nation.
That's the thing. That's all they do. That's the one thing they do now is just divide the nation. Dave didn't watch Beavis and Butthead. I'm very disappointed in him. Season 2 of the newest incarnation of Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead started on Paramount Plus last week with 2 episodes. Out of the 4, of course, every episode split into 2. Out of the 4, the funniest one was Old Man Beavis. Where in an attempt to buy beer, Butthead spray paints Beavis's head white, hits him in the back with a 2x4, so he walks around going, "Oh my back, oh my back." And then, of course, Beavis somehow gets on a shuttle to an old folks' home. Great, the classic episode. The other 3, I will say that they were okay, but that one was good. So,
there you go.
Not a bad start for the second season for Beavis and Butthead. Just glad to have the boys back. And, of course, Anderson. He has a little, this is something I don't think I've ever seen before. He had a little couple-minute snippet in between war stories.
Oh, God.
I'm going to tell you the time about when I was on a transport carrier And I found a flaw in the paint. He didn't use the right primer.
Well, at least it wasn't powered by propane and propane accessories. Because we all know Anderson is the
Yes.
base for Hank Hill.
Yes. But again, it's so good to have Beavis and Butthead back. Now, a little aside here before we get into our moments of silence. Dave and I have a fondness for certain shows, especially Terriers. We've talked about it and talked about it.
Screw you, FX.
Was on FX for 1 year, left us with a cliffhanger, and you can watch it on Hulu.
We've been bitter ever since.
Well, one of my I don't want to call it a one-hit wonder or one-season wonder that I've always bragged about and talked about, you can't find anywhere, is a show that was on paired with Miami Vice for a year called Private Eye. And it was the first show that Josh Brolin was ever in. As I was scrolling through videos this weekend on YouTube, I found, I'm not going to say the name of the person. I'm not going to say the username. Sorry. I don't have permission. I don't want to go that far. But if you do a search, there is a certain user out there, you can tell she's probably just a huge Josh Brolin fan. But she has got every episode of Private Eye out there on YouTube. Every episode, every freaking episode. And you can tell, basically running the VHS on the TV, recording the TV screen. But God help me, I love her for doing this. Despite, again, I can tell there's other stuff on the website, on the YouTube channel from Josh. So she's a Josh Brolin. She's like a stalker. But
you've reached out and got her number already.
But now I can watch any episode of Private Eye I want on her YouTube channel.
And you're reaching out to her, aren't you?
I don't know if I'm going to go that far. Sorry. I'm just glad she's putting Private Eye out there.
There you go.
It's a starting point, but I don't know if we want to go future Mrs. Crane. All right, so let's move on to moments of silence. Of course, the big passing this week in the world of pop culture was Harry Belafonte.
Yep. Wow. Big loss.
Yep. Couple others. Again, I know the name. I know to some people it's kind of significant, but comedian Barry Humphries, otherwise known as Dame Edna.
I had no clue.
I kind of remember sort of Dame Edna from something.
Yeah, I don't. Doesn't ring a bell.
But this is like a Mrs. Doubtfire thing.
Yeah.
I've never been really a fan of guys dressing up as women. Oh, sorry. I guess that makes me a transvestite hater or something, but
whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't ring a bell. Jenny Newhart, the wife of Bob Newhart, great comedian, actor, passed away. Married for 60 years. And Bob credits her. She had the idea for the ending of Newhart, where he wakes up from the dream in bed with Suzanne Plachette, who was his wife in the Bob Newhart show. So kudos to her for that brilliant idea, but thoughts and prayers to the Newhart family. And survived by Bob. Jenny was 82, and I think Bob is in his 90s.
All right, a couple moments or a couple of dumbasses. Not enough to play dumbass or not, but this one, not really funny. But after all we've seen happen over the last few years, and Vince McMahon, and just all these idiots in positions of power, the latest NBC Universal chief, Jeff Shell, booted out for sexual harassment.
Really?
Supposedly had an inappropriate relationship with, I believe we were talking about the news divisions, somebody from one of the NBC news divisions.
When are these idiots going to learn?
You know what would make things a lot easier? Legalize prostitution. I'm getting ready for my campaign. Joe Biden announced he's running in 2024. I'm a shoo-in. I'm a shoo-in if I run against him and just push legalized prostitution. I'm telling you, I'm in. I will be your next president, 2024.
God help us. With who's announced so far, Trump, Biden again. Really? DeSantis may be entering? Oh, come on. Is there not anybody actually worthwhile that has a brain?
You really expect an answer to that question?
I mean, there's got to be somebody worthwhile.
We've talked about this and talked about this. By the time they get to that level, they have sold their soul so much, parceled off bits and pieces, who they owe. They're going to owe this person, this person, this person, this person, to the point that this is what we get.
A shit show. Time and time and time again.
The idealism gets beaten out of these people, male or female, I don't care.
Or they're just stone frickin' stupid, like, oh, let's make crash test dummies diverse. From our transportation secretary.
Oh, the same guy who says that the roadways are racist?
Yeah. Fucking idiot.
And God help us, he came from the area that we live in, where we tape our episodes.
Brain damaged idiots.
And then finally, I thought we talked about this back in the early winter months of 2022, but I didn't see any notes. But anyway, this is like a follow-up, if we did. Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
Matthew Perry, of course, when he put out his memoir, decided that he was going to constantly rip on Keanu Reeves.
Yes, we did address this briefly, what an asshat Matthew Perry was in this regard.
Right, because he would say, oh my God, I'm paraphrasing. Oh, I can't believe River Phoenix and Heath Ledger, these great creative original minds, have left us, and Keanu Reeves is still around. Well, gee, Matthew Perry says now he's seen the error of his ways, and any future editions of his memoir will remove all of those references to insulting one Keanu Reeves. Here's my little rant about this. Listen, you fucknut. Keanu Reeves has made more money, is more savvy, is smarter than you when it comes to career choices than you could ever hope to be.
You are a one-trick pony.
Could you be any more bitter? Could you be any more of a dumbass?
Could you be a bigger douchebag?
Matthew Perry, sorry, this is too little, too late.
Screw you.
You're a dumbass. We're not dumbasses, but we are done. So now you are left to fend for yourself.
Get ready. Go out and do it all over again tonight.
Saturday night. Don't make the same mistakes, or do. We'll be here for you next Saturday morning. I will be, at least.
Yep.
Dave will be back in a couple weeks. We'll guide you through that rough Saturday morning.
Like we always do.
The dry mouth, the tears from rejection. We will get you through it. Each and every Saturday morning, the weekend edition with Dave and Kev. But for now, we're out. We will talk to you in a week.
Bye-bye.